What's up everybody? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Michael David, and today we're going to be diving into something new. Since I'm trying to pass time in quarantine, still here in New York, we're still going strong, families happy and healthy along with my friends. Wishing everybody out there lots of health. Today we're going to be doing a full face of products that I never use. And you know, I'm sure anybody out there who likes to collect makeup has a bunch of different products in their collection that they don't really get to touch that often. So, since I've been crazy bored and I definitely don't want to do online classwork, I decided to dive deep into my collection, kind of find some products that I haven't really touched in a long time. And there's a bunch of different stuff that I actually didn't show in my last video where I did some spring cleaning and went through all of my makeup because all of my palettes had already been organized. So I didn't really feel like including that in the video and making it really long. So today you're going to see some of those palettes. And I actually had some of my followers decide which palettes I was going to use. So I'm not really going to waste any time. I'm just going to kind of bring you guys in a little bit closer to see my beautiful face. What's up? So now our first step is obviously to prime our face. So I'm going to be going in with this e.l.f. primer that I haven't really touched in a while, and it's called Mineral Infused Face Primer. I use a lot of different e.l.f. products, as you guys probably have seen on my channel, but this product I really haven't actually touched in a really long time because I'm usually used to using the Poreless Putty Primer or using the Hello Hydration Face Cream. So this is a little bit more of like a jelly kind of texture, and I'm back in the robe today. Usually I like to have my outfits match my look that I'm doing, but I really have no idea what my look is. And since we're all in quarantine, I'm sure everybody's been rocking their sweats a lot. And also, please don't mind my hair. Like all of you guys, I haven't been able to go get a haircut. I haven't seen my girl Steph at my usual salon in a really long time, so we're just getting through, kind of just dealing with the long hair for a little bit. Now, when I first started doing my makeup, I always used the YSL Radiance Awakening Foundation, and I kind of realized that it was not really as full coverage as I would have liked. But today, because it's a video of products that I haven't used in a really long time, we're going to have to deal with it. And hopefully we can conceal to get any extra coverage. Oh boy, and this is a pale one. Now you want to bring this foundation all the way up to your lower lash line to kind of get the most coverage that you can. And yeah, this is a pale foundation. Oh boy, we are going to need to bronze this baby up later on. You always want to get on your ears as well as behind your neck. Usually you guys always see me using the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. Yeah, we are going to definitely be relying a lot on concealer today. So we're going to be going in with the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear, that's a good sign, Full Wear Concealer. Now, I got this at BeautyCon in the Talent Lounge just where they were giving out a bunch of different free makeup, and I didn't really have anybody shade test me, so hopefully I got a good color. Hopefully it works out. And honestly, I've never even opened this, so I'm kind of giving you a first impression of it right now, so we will see how it goes. It's definitely not a brightening concealer, so I'm probably going to go in with another concealer I haven't touched in a while on top. Yikes. Okay, well, this is kind of just going to serve as another foundation. Honestly, because this is not a brightening concealer at all, and it looks like it's oxidizing already. Love that! So I'm just going to stamp this in, and hopefully it adds a little bit of coverage. Okay, so although the shade match was a little bit of a flop, I definitely see some really good coverage with that, so it's not totally hopeless, but now to go in with something I know will have coverage, and it's a concealer that I've used maybe once or twice on my channel. I actually reviewed it about a year ago when it first came out. But it's the Jeffree Star Cosmetics concealer. I really don't use this concealer that much just because you guys know I'm a KKW stan, so I always constantly use that concealer. But today I'm going to be going in to kind of give this look a little bit more brightness because it definitely needs it. Oh, finally, product. Hello. So now let's blend. Now, I always watch Nikki tutorials, and she always says that she starts blending her concealer from the bottom first, so I'm going to do that first. Something that I honestly never really did. I always started right under the eye. And then she kind of just looks up. Coverage! Coverage exists in this video, thank God. Okay, so our base is finally done. What I'm going to do now is apply some powder. Now, this product I honestly haven't used in a really long time, but it's the Kylie Cosmetics Perfecting Powder. It looks like it has a little bit of tint in it, but I'm kind of just going to put that all over my face to kind of give it a little bit of a set, and then we're going to bake. Oh yes, that's pigmented. Giving me a little bit of color, thank God. Now, another product that I haven't really used in a really long time is the Cover FX powder. And a friend of mine got it for me for my birthday. and it's a really great powder. I don't know why I just haven't used it, just because I always gravitate towards the KKW baking powder. It works for me, and this definitely works for anybody, so I definitely recommend it. Alright, so now that my under eye is basically all done, I'm going to take a powder puff and just apply the powder all over my face. And then just connect it to the bake that you have. And now when you put it all over your face, some people might be like, oh my god, this is too bright, what am I doing? Just trust the process, because it'll actually go into your foundation that you have. So now while my bake finishes up, I'm just going to do my brows. And now I'm actually going to be using a product that I showed in my last video where I did a little spring cleaning with all of my makeup. It's a Dollar Tree eyebrow pencil. I know it sounds a little crazy, but I really always loved using it, and it's a very subtle kind of product that you don't really need too much, and it's very quick. So I'm just going to apply that on right now. It's by the brand NYC, and it's in the shade dark brown. And it's like, I don't know what it is about it, but it just gives such a little subtle coverage. The one thing that I will say, it's Dollar Tree, so who cares, but it doesn't have a spoolie on the end, so that's one little negative that I don't like about it. Now, anyone out there that's really just starting to dive into their brows, remember, it's a process. You are gonna keep learning. I'm still learning, but I mean, I think that we all have those phases where it just looks like Sharpie on our eyes, and we know we love it because we're like, ooh, what's that? This is cool coverage. But less is more. That's something that I've learned, and I'm still learning, so always remember that. If you go back to some of my videos, especially the Kai-Brow review, I definitely didn't know that less was more. But it's okay, you know, it's still fun. Sometimes it looks good. You see, this is a product that I never use, and it's a really, really good brow product. So I think that I'm gonna have to throw it back into my routine, but it's literally $1. Doesn't really take that much to go out and try to get it. Test it out, see if it works best for you. But now I'm just gonna throw a gel on it, and then that'll do it for the brows. And I know, a little crazy that I never use this gel more often than I do, but I'm going to be going in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Gel, and this will probably make it back into my routine as well. But the Kai-Brow Gel honestly has just been out for so long that I've been kind of gravitating towards that one. That gel in my review I said wasn't really good. I was wrong. I tested it out, I've worn it alone by itself, and it's a great gel. I will say the Anastasia gel is much better though. And now for me, it's just the way that my brow hairs grow, but I always like to brush my center hairs right at the end all the way up, just to kind of keep them in place and not really have them look uneven, because that's always a struggle for me. So now for eyeshadow. I had all of you guys vote on which shadow you guys would like to see, and I kind of did 3 different rounds. I figured that I should try to use 3 different palettes with 2 shades from each, so that's 6 shades total. Now, to some of you that might be a lot, to some of you that might be kind of standard. But the reason I did it was because I am bored in quarantine and I want to feel creative, so I'm kind of just going to make a very nice, colorful look today. Everything was pretty neck and neck. I was surprised. It had like 30 votes and 30 votes, and then it suddenly became 50 and 50, and just like was very, very close. So it turns out that 51%, that's a very close call, wanted the Jaclyn Hill palette, and then 49% wanted James Charles. So we are going to go in with the Jaclyn Hill palette, and I didn't really specify which palette it was going to be, but it's the OG palette that she put out a really long time ago. It's not the new one. Everybody was wondering, they were like, oh my god, are you like buying all these products? And I'm like, no, I've had these products. Definitely can't really afford anything right now. It's some crazy times that we're living, just to get a little bit real for a second, but I, like many other people, are unemployed at the moment. It's kind of just what needs to happen right now, just because, you know, everybody's health is the most important thing. But if anybody's struggling out there, I understand what you're going through. Just know we'll get through it. We'll come out stronger than ever. And just, you know, try to savor what you have now. And don't use your money in stupid ways that you probably would have before. At least I know I use my money in stupid ways. But it's only normal, right? We can spend our money however we want. So before I start my shadow, I'm gonna prime my lids, because not to prime is a crime, as Nikki Tutorial says. She's honestly just such an inspiration of mine. I'm not sure if anybody out there watches her. Her and Jeffree Star, of course, and James Charles as well, but Nikki Tutorials is just such a sweet, kind person who really takes the time to really tell you how to use your products and really gives you in-depth ways of using them, and kind of has helped me kind of understand how to use makeup, and I feel like I'm definitely getting better by studying a lot of her videos. So if anybody's out there new to makeup just like me, definitely check her out, because she's like the holy grail in terms of makeup artists. So I'm just gonna take that Jeffree Star concealer and I'm gonna put it on my lids. And I'm just gonna take this KKW concealer brush to kind of just set it in. A lot of people like to use a blender, and I do too. Just since I did my brows, I'm kind of just gonna try to be a little bit more careful. And I'm gonna go in with the shade called Pooter. It's like a little matte brown. I will say something that I'm not really a fan of with the Jaclyn palette is that there's no mirror. I mean, the James Charles palette doesn't have a mirror either. The little one does, you know, the same exact palette that he put out a year before, just a smaller version. That one has a mirror. That's a reason to buy it. I was honestly happy that I didn't use the James palette for this video because I have used it more often, but I mean, it's not really one that I always turn to, but the Jaclyn palette I haven't touched in like 2 years. Now this step is to kind of figure out the shape that you want to do. Normally I always use my entire lid, but I mean, I'm gonna try something new today and see if I like it. If I don't, then I'm just gonna blend it all out. I've kind of honestly been gearing more towards tutorial videos just because for a really long time I constantly said, oh, I'm not an artist, I'm not a makeup artist, I'm not a makeup artist, I'm not a makeup artist, and you know, I said that a million times because it always came up in every single video I did. You know, being in quarantine and kind of just being in my own thoughts lately, I've realized I am an artist. I'm not a makeup artist, I'm not a cosmetologist. I know so many makeup artists and cosmetologists who are super talented, but I'm an artist in my own right. I like to do different looks, I like to dress up, I like to have fun, and you know what? That's art to me, you know? And it took me a really long time to kind of accept that, kind of just because I didn't really want to impersonate an artist, I didn't want to come across like I was better than anybody else, but I don't know, I've kind of just accepted that that's what I am. I'm an artist, I'm somebody who likes to do all different kinds of things, and that doesn't mean that I just like makeup. I like to experiment with different products, I like to put myself out of the box, and I consider that an artist. So if anybody out there is kind of struggling with yourself and accepting what you are and what you like to do, it's okay. And you know, I'm here, I've been on YouTube about 2 or 3 years, and I'm here saying I'm an artist. So I'm happy that I'm saying that. And remember everyone, patience is a virtue, okay? You know, there's been times where I'm doing looks and I'm like, oh my god, let me just get it done. And then I always regret little things that I could have done better, so definitely take your time. And it's so funny that I'm actually using a Jaclyn Hill brush. I was using the JH41 brush, and it's a little bit of a flatter brush to kind of help get that pigment placed, and now I'm gonna change up the brush to kind of blend it out a little bit better. So now taking a JH30 brush, I'm gonna dip into a lighter shade to blend this out and bring it up a little bit. And today we're gonna be using the shade called MFEO. Not really sure what that stands for. If anybody knows, let me know in the comments. And now since this is your blending shade, you definitely wanna pat it off as much as you can. You know, you don't want any excess pigment, and you just wanna take the top and touch it ever so slightly and just lift it up. Since this color isn't really coming up too much, I am gonna actually do what I said I was gonna try not doing and bring it all the way out. And now this color, I am gonna actually carry all the way through my crease. It's a very, very subtle color. It's not pigmented to the max, which, listen, not all shadows need to actually have so much pigment, but this is applying a nice little contour to the lid. Now I'm gonna take a JH30 brush since it's a little bit bigger to kind of help this blend go. Alright, so that does it for the Jaclyn Hill palette. We are gonna be getting back into it just a little bit later, but we are only using 2 shades. Remember when I said the color was coming? Here it is. So now it was between the Urban Decay Game of Thrones palette, which you guys did see when I did Game of Thrones looks for DragCon. I love those looks. And it was also between the Lunar Beauty Life's a Drag palette. And the Life's a Drag palette I've had for a really long time, but I've really never touched it, which is kind of crazy to say. But I mean, I love the yellow in it. It's such a great yellow. I did use that. That's one shade that I have used from it. But it turns out that everybody wanted to see the Life's a Drag palette, so that works out better. So I'm feeling very blue today, as always. I definitely like to do a lot of blue looks. It's not gonna be like my traditional royal blue kind of vibe, but we are gonna use a blue. So we are gonna use the shade called Fishy. It's a little duochrome, kind of a cerulean kind of color. Not really like a royal blue or a kind of darkish blue. This I'm gonna do all over the lid for right now, and then we're gonna get back to it a little bit later. And I'm gonna take a M124 brush to kind of stamp it on. This is kind of reminding me of my drunk get ready with me look. So now I'm gonna go in with that same blending brush that I was using before, and then I'm just gonna blend it out. And then I'm also gonna press back into that dark color that we were using before from the Jacqueline palette, and just stamping them together just to give it a little bit of depth. I mean, I'm not mad at the fact that the blue is kind of just blending into the brown because that's what I wanted, but literally it's like the blue is almost disappearing. Like it's blending, but like it's kind of just turning into a off greenish smoke color, which works for the look, but I'm just kind of like, what does that say about the shade? I'm gonna go in with my second shade from the Life's a Drag palette called Pageant Queen, and it's a beautiful purple. I'm gonna throw it right under my lid, and then I'm gonna bring back the blue called Fishy, and I'm gonna put it right at the end of the lid. It definitely gets more pigment as you layer it. So I guess it's kind of like the James palette where you have to layer everything, or at least that's the excuse. And now, I always hear that purples are actually really hard for companies to make, so I'm kind of trying to remember that while I'm using this and getting my first impression of it. It's really pretty. I just need to keep putting it on, and you know, like I said, patience is a virtue. And I'm just gonna tap, 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 tap. I try to get that in all portions of it. I'm seeing the vision finally. Took a while. All right, so now I'm gonna go back in with Fishy and put it right under my lid. So for round 3, I kind of decided to make it a Jeffree Star themed. So we did the Alien palette and the Blue Blood palette. And let me tell you guys, this one was like a landslide. Blue Blood won by 62%, and Alien palette only had 38%. And at first, you know, I was taking a look at the poll just because I wanted to kind of get an idea of what I was gonna do before I filmed. And a lot of people were actually voting for the Alien palette at first. Like I got like 10 votes automatically. So I was like, oh. I've done a look with the Blue Blood palette just one time, and my friend Rory, she is fabulous. She is an amazing makeup artist. Definitely check her out. She did my Blue Blood look last time, and now I'm kind of gonna do it for myself. And a lot of you guys know this palette is amazing. Jeffree Star's formulas are probably the best eyeshadow formulas in the game, to be completely honest, especially with metallics and shimmers. So obviously my metallics and shimmers that are gonna bring this whole look together are gonna come from this palette. And now, since we have a mermaid vibe going on, I'm gonna go in with a shade called Entitled, and I'm gonna put that all over the lid. And I'm gonna use that same brush that we were using for Fishy from Life's a Drag. Kind of awkward that I'm using a Manny palette and a Jeffree palette in the same video. In case you guys need to know why, definitely just Google it. Oh my god. Wow. Got one shade left, and I'm gonna use that in the inner corner as well as the brow bone, and it's called Cullinan. Whoa. That's like Facetune. Like that is legit Facetune. That's so good. I'm thinking, do I dare attach it? Oh my god, Jeffree. I'm gonna be going in with Sonia Kashuk Natural Lashes. I haven't really ever used that brand before, so I figured that today would be a good excuse since we're using all new products. And I'm also gonna be going in with Music Flower 24-Hour Long Wear Gel Eyeliner. And I've had it for a couple years, so let's hope it's not too dried out. Alright, so eyes are done, and I don't know, I think I'm pretty snatched. What do you guys think? Now time for cheeks. I gotta say, I was a little surprised that the eyeliner wasn't completely dried out and it actually worked. I was thinking that I would have to go in with my House Labs liner and go over it, but we are all good. And you know what? I put it on with a brush, and I'm pretty proud of myself. Now, it's pretty crazy what I'm about to use because I haven't touched it in years. I'm gonna be going in with the e.l.f. Contour Palette. And you know, when I was going through all my makeup in my last video, I saw it and I was like, you know what, let's bring it out and just see how it goes. And it's killing me that I'm not using my KKW Contour and Highlight Palette, but it'll be back next week. So that's all that matters. I'm just gonna take my clean contour brush and just wipe away any excess bake, but you guys can see how it just kind of beautifully seeped into the skin. And now we're gonna be going in with our bronzer, and then we're gonna be applying contour right on top. And now remember what I said, you want to just definitely tap off as much as you possibly can and go in very, very light with this. Now the idea is to bring any kind of contouring probably to like the center of your eye. That's where your cheekbone technically ends, and then that'll give you the perfect little curve that you guys are looking for. And now, listen, I didn't even put that much on, and that was the pigment that we got. So it just goes to show you that e.l.f. makes amazing products. You guys see I use them all the time. I haven't touched this contour palette in years. Still works pretty good. So now you just gotta blend this in. And now if you notice that you added a little too much product, what you can do is just take a simple little beauty blender and buff it out, and then it blends it in seamlessly. With that same brush, which is a JH04 brush, I'm just gonna tap into the contour shade now. We're gonna add not too much, but we're just gonna darken this up a little bit more. We're gonna do our jawline as well as our forehead and nose. And what I like to do is just contour the front of my nose as well. Alright, so a blush that I actually never used that I realized I had was the e.l.f. blush. I'm just gonna add a little bit to the apples of the cheeks and kind of blend it into our contour that we have going on. Gonna go very, very soft. Alright, now time for highlighter. So you guys had the chance to vote between the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dream Glow Kit or the Moonchild Glow Kit, and the Moonchild Glow Kit won by a landslide. And I'm pretty sure that it's probably just because of the name, but honestly, since we have kind of some blues in this look, the Moonchild palette will actually work best. So I'm kind of gonna tap between Purple Horseshoe, since we're kind of getting our little mermaid slash unicorn vibes, and Blue Ice. And it's crazy because in the pan, it doesn't necessarily look blue, but when you put it on the face, you definitely see that blue reflex. And now what I've seen people do is kind of just carry that highlighter down just a little bit to kind of give that flawless skin finish. And then just a little bit right on the nose, and then your cupid's bow and chin. And then you want to just kind of put a little bit on your forehead to kind of give that moist skin, dewy look. Now before I finish up with lips, I'm just gonna set this face, and it's crazy because you guys are gonna be like, Michael, who are you? Why are you even doing makeup? But I never really use the Morphe setting spray. I'll say it, I never use it. I kind of use the Kylie Cosmetics setting spray only because it kind of feels more heavy. I like kind of feeling a lot of mist and kind of just set, you know what I'm saying? And the Morphe one is perfect, but I always feel like I have to apply more. So, although I never use it, we are gonna be using it today. Just gonna fan that in a little bit. All right guys, finally the last step. Thank you so much for still watching at this point. I wanted to do a full face just to kind of give myself a challenge. So I mean, I know this is gonna be kind of a longer video, but hopefully it'll be worth it. Now, another thing that might sound crazy to people, I honestly haven't used any of the Haus Labs lip liners yet. Sorry, I said it, I haven't used them. But it's really just because I always use the Kim ones. Today's the perfect excuse to dip into the Rip lip liners. And today we're gonna be using the shade Arc. Some people like to overdraw. I don't really need to, so I never do. It's very creamy, but more matte than the KKW ones. Now that we lined, I'm gonna apply a liquid lip, and it's one that I haven't touched in a really long time. I'm gonna be using the Kylie Cosmetics Liquid Lip Cocoa K shade. And this shade I used to use all the time. It was probably one of the first lipsticks that I ever had. And I'm gonna be putting it right on top of this liner. I remember it like has like a bubble gummy, yummy taste to it, or scent I should say. So now the one thing about Kylie lips that I never really enjoy is that it dries down a lot. Like it's a very, very matte, dry finish liquid lip. So I'm gonna take a Jeffree Star lip ammunition that I haven't touched yet, and it's a more brighter pink to kind of make this feel a little bit more colorful, and it's in the shade Jeffree's Girl. Pretty good lip combo, gotta say. All three of those products worked really well together. Now for the piece de resistance, let's just add a nice Jeffree Star gloss. It's one that I don't really use that often, but I do have it. I usually use it if I'm on the go. It's in the shade Ice Cold. Just gonna take a nice clean little applicator from my little drawer. we are done. So this is the finished look. I honestly love it. There's nothing that I could really say that didn't work out. I think everything applied beautifully. I think that pretty much everything was a great product, honestly. And it just goes to show you that once you actually try different things that you haven't touched in a really long time, it might pleasantly surprise you. So this was really fun. Thank you so much to everyone who actually voted on my Instagram polls. If you guys would like to see more polls where I let you guys kind of help me out with videos, definitely let me know in the comments down below. And you know, I'm not really going anywhere because, you know, quarantine, but I just want to send everybody out there lots of love during these times. I'm going to be doing a couple more videos. I'm going to film 2 next week, I think, just because I have spring break from online classes. Thank God my school is actually still giving us a spring break. You know, schoolwork is pretty crazy, and you know, doing it at home, one would think that it would be easier, but it kind of is not. I'm not sure how anybody else is dealing with classes with college or high school or anything really, but I'm going to be making a lot more content. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Do me a favor and give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and also hit the bell, that way you don't miss the next time I upload a new video. Follow me on all social media, I'm just at MichaelDavidTV, and I guess I'll see you guys on the next one. This is Michael David, signing off. Mwah.